Glamour.
Grit. Glamour.
Grit. Glamour. Grit.
Okay, so normally I feel like we have a lot of fun on here. We don't take ourselves too seriously, but I do want to talk about something I feel is very important as summer approaches, and it is a good reminder. June is National CPR Month, and I know you have fun vacations planned, pool days to enjoy, and memories to be made. But please, brush up on your CPR knowledge. To make this easy, Texas Health has a website with a very fun video with a bossy coach that breaks down the CPR process and reminds us that hand-only CPR is simple to learn and easy to do. It might be the first line of care you can provide someone, even a child, during what could be a very scary situation. No one ever thinks it could happen to them or their family until it does. That's why Texas Health is asking all of North Texans and everyone who listens to be a braver lifesaver. Check out the videos today at braverlifesaver.com. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Glamour and Grit. It is Monday, and Monday is Celebrity Monday.
Let's go.
And our guests today are two of my favorite people on this whole earth. If y'all don't know, I moved to New York City from Ohio. I'm a Texan, but I went to college in Ohio. And when you're a solo Texanian taking on the mean streets in New York City alone, you need people to take care of you. And these two took such good care of me. Eric, do you want to introduce our pair today?
Yeah, so this is actually really cool for us too because, I have very, very few friends in the entertainment industry that even have successful relationships, let alone marriages. And they're not only entertainers, they're not only performers, but they're an amazing couple and they're married and they can't wait to talk about what just happened in their life. So they've been role models for us and best friends, and it's been amazing. So without further ado, please, drum roll. Signing.
Vanessa Ray and Landon Beard.
I love how we just made that an entire production. We've never done that before, guys. That was
That's really Oh, no, I love a good dance.
The Wicca Wicca.
The Wicca Wicca.
For those of you who don't know, Landon is a singer and performer, and you've heard his voice all over the world with people such as Frankie Valli. Josh Groban. You've even performed with the Beach Boys. Like, there's been some amazing, incredible. I think I saw you in Altar Boys back in the day.
Well, my God.
Were you like...
I was in it for the better part of 2 years. So
yeah, which was an insanely successful show in New York. And Vanessa, you know her as A in Pretty Little Liars, and she's currently killing it on Blue Bloods, as well as a million other things. So it's just great to have you guys here. Thanks for joining us today.
Guys,
I'm so excited.
Thanks for having us. Welcome on your show. Okay, we need to jump right in. But what is it like being a successful couple in this industry? Just two different worlds, because I feel like part of the time you're never together.
I think we couldn't do it if we did exactly the same thing. If he was also an actor and I think that would be really challenging because, he's a musician, so it's a little bit easier for us to kind of, I don't know. What do you think? I think it's, I just hit you so hard.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
That's good. We like it. Start getting a little bruised up.
If I have to make a case, she hit me. No, I think it's nice that at least currently the way your filming schedule is, it's weekdays, right? So it's Monday through Friday. As a musician, you tend to work Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. So the good and the bad is when she's working, I'm not. When I'm working, she's not. And so we can sometimes be there for each other. Our time isn't being demanded when the other's is. So I think that's helpful.
And I think especially early on when we were first dating and, when I first moved to LA after New York and stuff, Landon was so helpful to me. He's like, I'll drive you to auditions. So he would drive me around and we would run lines. I'd be changing in the car, changing my makeup or whatever it was. And he would be running lines. Or sometimes I would get sides or something. And I would go, I don't have time to literally read it. You have to read it to me. Like he will, like I'll be getting ready. He'd be reading me the sides, and I'd be memorizing it from just him reading it to me. Like so, he was really helpful with me, and I am not helpful to him at all.
Can you help me with this harmony?
I am absolutely useless. I mean, I can sing. I'm like, I always say to him, I'm like, you know that I did sing on Broadway. Like I can.
Wait. I didn't know that.
Are you kidding? Yes.
No, I had no idea. What?
We both did Finding Nemo the musical.
Oh, I knew. Okay,
but
actually,
we weren't.
I forgot.
We weren't in it together ever. But
we should have been.
We should have. But like I thought, like I moved to New York to like be on Broadway to only do musicals. That's all I thought I would ever do.
Okay, I had no idea.
So I'm like Landon,
and then she booked Hair on Broadway.
Yes, and then I did Hair on Broadway.
But I'm like,
but every time I sing around the house, he's just like,
that is not true,
honey. Honey.
We actually are that cliche that sometimes sings around the house together. People are like, "Do you guys sing all the time?" We're like, "No."
Well, I'll be singing.
Sometimes we do, and it's like.
Or I'll sing like in the shower. Somebody will be like, "You sounded really good on this part. You're really finding your mix. You're really finding your falsetto. You're really."
Hey, I mean, listen. That way, you know when he tells you it's good. It's good.
It's true. He's not throwing out those compliments slightly. Okay.
On a friend's birthday, we like to figure out what was the number one song the day they were born.
Yeah.
And then we'll sit I'll sit at the piano and play, and she'll sing the song, and we'll send like a 20-second just like text video of us like singing, whatever.
Wait, that's so cute.
It's pretty cute, guys. I'm
ready for it. May 20th.
Pretty cute.
Get my song ready.
Landon hates the Happy Birthday song, so
I do hate the song Happy Birthday.
Well, I mean, if you could just play and sing whatever you can think of.
I would much rather do. No, Eric and I are
horrendous of Happy Birthday.
Yeah.
Which is like public, right? It's like
no, we're horrible singers. Like we try so hard.
You were on Broadway as well. I saw you on Broadway
in a musical.
Both of you have
I never made it to Broadway.
It just stresses me out.
Yes.
Like it doesn't come naturally, and I have to work so hard, and like the reward to work ratio on it isn't enough satisfying to pursue it.
Totally. If the paycheck was big enough, I'll sing all day.
You listen.
La 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 la.
I mean, you've heard Gabby's Dollhouse. She has an incredible song.
Who hasn't?
No, I can sing as a character. I feel like singing as yourself is so vulnerable.
Yes.
Like I can't even imagine. I always know if you're my friend or not, and we go karaoke, and like you are singing. I'm like, well, that was ruined.
Wait, do you remember we were in Texas and we dropped Landon off at the airport. You and I went and got Diet Cokes and we were driving home and we were singing along on the radio and you were like, could you imagine if we were actually trying to sing good? How much we couldn't be friends. Like we could not be friends if we were trying
ever.
If it was like immediately like, this is how we know we're such good friends because neither one of us is trying to sound good. I would be like, get off of me. You're not my friend.
I think that's like your thing though, because when we met and the first time like the radio started playing, it's just like, thank God we're not those people that like actually sing when the songs are on. I'm like, yeah, no, wasn't gonna do that.
No, there is actually nothing worse. So there's this place called Marie's Crisis here, as y'all know, and it's infamous. The viewers, it's like a Broadway bar, and you really aren't allowed to sing unless you're a great singer. I have had a couple cocktails, and I am feeling myself. I am a star. I am Patti LuPone come back to life. I mean, I am in it. So I'm with my girlfriend, Raya Nixon, who's our best friends and who's about to be in The Great Gatsby. The girls in my will. Landon, Matt Gumley, and and Raya are in my will. They're unbelievable singers. And I'm like, this is it. This is my coming out. So I tell the pianist, I'm like, take it or leave it, or take me or leave me. From Rent, which is the famous duet. And I'm like, Raya and I are going to bring down the house. And my mom is secretly doing to the pianist, no, don't play it. Don't play this.
Meanwhile, you've tipped the guy $200.
He's playing.
I am going to sing the shit out of this. And moments you're like that, you get the video back and you're like, oh, I am not a singer.
Oh my God, I feel that on like every level of my body.
There is nothing better when you like look in the mirror and stuff, or you're singing, you're like, I'm a fucking star.
Yes.
Like the world isn't ready for me.
Yes, it's true. You feel
and then
it
you
so
hear it
deeply.
or you look at yourself and I'm like, that's not it. That's not what the world sees. They see the other one.
That song is also deceivingly tough. I too have a take me or leave me story.
Oh, really?
In LA with Matt DeAngelis. We both went. All right, let's do the chick duet song. We got up and we were like, oh no. what have we gotten ourselves into?
Please tell me this one
It's
is
so hard. It's so high. You think you know like who's singing what at what point. You're like, nope, I actually don't know this song as well as I thought I did.
It's so true. No, Claudia and I.
It's not just you.
No,
yeah.
we tried it in Texas and
how'd it go?
It was not well. And we even tried it twice. Claudia was like, let's do it again. And I was like, okay. And
Oh my God.
These chords aren't made for take it or leave it.
No.
But yeah, keep rent.
Well, it's also not take it or leave it. It's also
Take it or leave me.
That was the first
take
issue.
Me or leave me.
She was singing the wrong words the entire
She's like,
time.
take it or leave it. That's not how that song goes.
And I can't rip worth shit. So it's like, I'm like that family. And what is the movie? They're all in carbon. They're like, Step Brothers.
Step Brothers.
That's it. That is Eric
Sweet Child of Mine. Yeah.
So walk me through real quick, just to go back for a second, how actress, film, TV, musicians, singers, how'd you guys meet? How'd you guys find each other? Did you work together?
Boots, built for the Western lifestyle by cowboys and cowgirls who live it every day. Their exceptional quality and unmatched attention to detail come from the heart of years of experience. You'll hear people say they don't build them like they used to. Well, the Rios family of brands does. With an unwavering commitment to doing the right things the right way, the company's dedication to family, quality craftsmanship, and the preservation of a history worth sharing is as strong as ever. Find your perfect pair today at any of their retail partners. For a full list of where to shop or to learn more about the Rios family of brands, visit riosfamilyofbrands.com. Step into the proud heritage of the Rios family of brands, a testament to the heart and soul of the American West.
Yes, sort of. We have different stories of how we met. So I tell the story you tell the story first because yours starts before mine.
Well, no,
You saw her in an audition room.
Yeah, so I had just finished doing Altar Boys musical here in the city, and then she had just gotten off tour and was coming to move to New York City, and I had a friend of mine was like, you need to meet this girl Vanessa Ray, and I didn't know her or whatever, and
this is like you can't stalk people.
This is like
This is like MySpace and
I think it
Zynga,
must have been
or what was that?
Facebook.
2007. I think I just gotten the first iPhone.
Oh, wow.
It was a
Facebook
minute
is just
ago.
becoming a thing kind of at this point, like for real,
Yeah.
And
Which now are selling for so much money. The Gen 1 iPhone just sold for like $50,000 at someone had it in a box.
Why didn't I do that?
Insane. Sorry.
No, and so then so we were out on Restaurant Row on 46th, and she.
This isn't the story. The story is that our friends.
This is good. I like this.
This is the story you tell. The story you tell is that I was on tour.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Keenan Bolger signed me up for Facebook and was like, "You need to meet this guy, Landon Beard. He's so hot. He's like." And Altar Boy, like back then, like Altar Boys were like all
That was
hot
the
guys.
show. That was Backstreet Boys at Broadway.
It's so humiliating to say that. And then, but you said that you were with Heather.
Mm-hmm.
And you were at the Playboy Club in Las Vegas, and you friended me on Facebook. That's usually what you tell.
I did. I friended you on Facebook, and someone.
Get him.
I later find out she's not even
me.
running her own Facebook. Someone accepted the friend request.
Right.
Right. So.
But it wasn't you.
No,
Not
but
me.
it
It
was
was
for
Andrew.
She had like
Andrew
friends
for sure
because she
did
was
it.
like single and moving to the city, so her friends were like, "Ooh, this person, this person."
Oh,
this
okay.
person,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And so then you actually were in the city, and we were at RIP Bourbon Street on 46th, and
At Alex Ellis's birthday party.
right.
I had never met her. I didn't know her yet.
Who I'm now. I'm now in a band with.
Yeah.
Harbor Party. Look them up. They were on Vanderpump Rules.
Get into it, guys.
Katie and Schwartz's wedding.
It was
RIP
fun.
to that
RIP
marriage.
but
They had a great band.
Still going
I heard.
strong with the band.
Yeah,
Great band.
Check them out. Landon's band's incredible.
And yeah, so then this one walked in, and I was like, "Who's that girl?" And they were like, "I don't know." And I was like, "I swear I know that girl." Then it finally dawns on me. I was like, "This is that girl I was looking at photos on Facebook." And so I am not this person, but I walked up and I was like, "Hey," she was like at the bar, and I was like, "Friends of mine say we should meet and whatever." And she was like listening to me.
You didn't say it like that.
I thought he's like, I am an altar boy.
He did not say. He went. Hey, so
Yeah.
a lot of friends of ours say we should meet, and I was like,
Okay.
I'm not interested in meeting you at all.
That was.
I just got
that's
to the city.
answer.
I'm all
You
set.
were like, I'm good.
I was like, I'm fine. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Took my beer and walked back to my
Date.
spot. Okay.
He was on a date.
Were you in a show at the time?
I had just finished Spelling Bee. No, I wasn't in a show.
Okay, cool.
I wasn't in a show at the moment, but hair came pretty quick after that.
Yeah. Okay, what was the character's name with the ponytails in Spelling Bee? Wait, who?
I played the
Olive.
Olive.
Pink
overalls.
Oh, yeah, Olive.
Pink overalls.
Okay.
You're thinking
yeah.
of
what
the...
Celia
Yes,
played,
I
right?
played Celia. Yeah.
You're thinking like the Lith girl.
Yeah,
I
no.
couldn't. It's not.
That's a Sarah. What's the original girl?
Salzberg.
Yes,
No?
brilliant. Sarah Salzberg.
Yes,
She was the original.
yes, okay.
Brilliant actress.
She was so good. Very good. Very good actress.
Well, then how did y'all decide to be
So
one?
then we were asked to sing in a concert together.
When you were singing.
When we were singing. And so back when I was because you come to New York and you sing in all the concerts. Like everybody puts you in a concert and you kind of.
Was this like a Joe's
audition.
Pub thing, or was it like a...
It was at the place called the Zipper Factory, which is a really cool venue.
Yeah, I remember it.
It's closed now, R.I.P. I mean, we've been together
Yeah,
so long, everything's closed.
Some new works from writers, from Ryan
So we had to
Ferguson
sing a
and Stephen
duet.
Jamel. Yeah.
And he came in, and I remember thinking, this guy really thinks he's a real something, and I'm not interested. And so I had come, I ran to the rehearsal, I got my workout in or whatever. And so I had no makeup on. I looked like trash. I was sweaty. It was gross. And he came in and he was so cute. He was like Landon.
Yeah.
He was really him. And he was so cute and so sweet and funny and just all the things. And I was like, son of a. This guy's gonna freaking ruin my life.
He can sing and he's sweet.
I was like, he really is gonna ruin my life. And then I was pinching my cheeks, trying to make myself look presentable, getting my hair together. And I was trying to sing, and it was.
I was sold though. You know what I mean? Already I was in.
Okay.
So,
No, you weren't. And then that night, my roommate Danny Spieler, it was a long time ago, guys. She had every year for her birthday, she threw a Broadway prom.
Oh,
the Broadway
prom.
Remember Broadway prom?
It was major.
This was
the
first one in the city.
You weren't in a picture with all the props on.
If you didn't have a picture with Jake or Courtney or you, you had not made the New York scene.
It's the truth.
That was the crowd that you needed to be in.
Funny. So many people met and got married having gone to that Broadway prom. They have it was a meet Danny cute. Has a meet cute miles
list.
deep.
Yeah.
But yeah, that night was Broadway prom, and so I was like, okay, tonight I'm gonna put it together.
I'm gonna show him.
Gonna put on a false lash and put on a dress I wore at a friend's wedding, and here we go.
And that was it.
And that was sort of it. It was sort of it.
New York.
And then, then you have a few moments.
Dating,
Listen, we were both very single in New York. We had a lot of loose ends we had to tie up. You know what I mean?
I think that's where I came in one of the times. I don't think y'all were quite together at that point. And I remember I was with both. Or was I with you?
It was my 30th birthday.
Oh my God.
And Landon and I had been chosen. We had to talk about this last night. He was like, we only broke up once. And this was the real breakup, the real solid, we were not together. And then I was turning 30. You sent me flowers, which was very sweet. And then was going out and then you drove really, really far.
I came in
to my
from
birthday
Delaware.
party. At the Black Fat Pussycat,
Fat Black
Pussycat. You got me a necklace with a little
Betsy Johnson.
Yes, it was so
back
cute.
in the day.
And Tim, who is currently, spoiler alert, watching our child outside watching our baby,
is the bartender.
At that bar.
Isn't that crazy? That's the picture I have with Tess.
That's all how New York goes, right?
Yeah,
and if people don't know, I was with Tess. This is before I'd met Eric.
My cousin.
His first cousin.
Yes.
How bizarre is that?
Yeah, she was best friends with my cousin, and that's how I even met Sainty. Because Tess was like, hey, I'm out at Blockheads with a bunch of friends. Come say hi.
And
I showed up with my girlfriend. She had a boyfriend. And that was it. We met. We started talking that day, and it was just like
I'll make love to you.
I was like, I know I'm going to have somebody tracking me down to kill me soon. 'Cause
No.
she was in a serious relationship at the time.
You were?
5.5 years. But
I cannot imagine you with anyone other than Eric. I can't even imagine your life.
And I have my ex, I only have one ex, is an amazing person.
Sure,
I have
course.
nothing bad, but I didn't believe in marriage, didn't believe in having kids. I was going to be a star. And I didn't believe, my mom said, I knew that nothing could replace my love of the arts. Like, I just, I swear I was that big of a freak.
I met her, she's like, fuck the arts.
Yeah, fuck yeah. She's like, I know what I'm going to do with this kid.
That's the effect
I got
you have on her,
plans.
man.
We're going to have some fun.
I got plans with this guy.
Who needs Broadway?
Oh my God.
No, and that was it. I just didn't believe in it. And then, I swear to God, I was like, gonna be a thespian for life. And then I met this man, and I was like, it was a skater boy, and I was like, I sent myself flowers from him to show. No, I'm a psychopath.
What are you talking about?
I'm a
Which she didn't need
Say
to,
more.
because I had already.
You need to break it down way more.
Oh, yeah,
So
no,
this is
the
what,
thing.
okay, and I read the books. So my mom and Raya flew up to New York City.
Eric?
So this episode's about me. And my mom flew Raya up to New York City because I was in love. I had dumped my boyfriend.
But Hairspray happened before all that, right?
No.
Oh, that was.
This is summer. Hairspray was in August.
Okay.
You were in
So
the
I
musical
met him
Hairspray.
the first week I moved to New York City at Blockheads, which was an outdoor, like infamous, everybody knew this Mexican outdoor bar.
Terrible
for
food,
bulldogs.
terrible drinks, but we always
The
went
worst.
And
You
they
all
got
went
you
there.
really
and
messed
this
up.
skater boy skated up, and that was Eric, and that was it. And I knew, I was like, that is my husband. I literally found, it's legal now. Every dispensary I went to find every type of weed, so I could show him
think
to
you're
make
cool.
him think. And then I bought video games. I would order him steak. I was like, "You will marry me. You will love me."
You were like, meanwhile, you're like, you didn't have to actually
He
try
was
that
19.
hard. I'm fine.
19. He's like, "You sociopath." I'm 21.
He's like, you could have like picked up Taco Bell and we would have been
That would've been so
married.
fun.
And I was like, I am.
And I brought my own weed, so it's fine.
Yeah, literally. So Raya flies up my mom, and because they're having an intervention, they're like, "This kid does not love you. Like, you have got to get over this." My mom runs into him at PJ Clark's with another girl.
Of course.
Of course. And she comes back, and I'm like, F you all. Like, I know what I want.
And this is my longtime friend who we
Kristen
dated
Alderson,
like back
listen
in
to our
like middle
podcast.
school type thing.
Sure,
and like we were
sure,
just
sure.
literally having a friendship lunch.
But I didn't believe in friendship lunch. You don't go to lunch.
Oh, neither
with a
did your
boy.
mom.
Yeah, no.
That blew up everything.
I still, you don't go to lunch with a boy.
Really?
Oh, she
Moppers was
had
not
the intervention with
having
Sadie
it.
that day.
Yeah,
'cause
no,
she's
that
like,
was it.
He's into somebody else. You cannot talk to this boy. Like
You are, because I was spending all of my dad's money on Eric.
Sure.
Not my money at this time. But I was moving to the city like, I'm going to have this man. So fast forward, this is like May, June. Fast forward to August. Him and Tess fly down to come see me in Hairspray in Texas. And I'm like, this is it. He loves me. Like,
He wouldn't get. He's getting on a plane.
he's
for
getting
me.
on a plane. I'm his wife. And him and Tess sent me flowers together on opening. I'm like, oh, no. Like, you send me individual flowers. Like, I am telling everyone that you're going to be my husband.
so she sent herself flowers from me,
Yep.
so she could show all her cast members.
Wait.
Amazing.
Okay. No red flags for you.
I didn't know this.
You didn't know
Thank
that. Okay,
God.
okay.
Right.
Thank God.
Oh my God.
So girls, go after what you fucking want.
Oh my
10 years
God.
later, a marriage, 2
I
kids.
had no idea.
I couldn't be more opposite than you.
I'm a sociopath.
I am like, I like you. I'll never answer your phone call. I will not show up at your gig that you asked me to come to. Couldn't be more opposite.
like, we are not friends.
No, I can't imagine putting in that much effort to anything.
No, and I don't know. That's like the sick part. I think because I didn't believe in it, and all of a sudden it's like, I bet it's imagine, you know how people that like don't believe in God, and then they become these like raging Christians.
And then she met Eric and she believed in God.
Yes, like I think that's it. Like I didn't believe in marriage, and then it's like, holy shit, that is it.
I
Like,
get that.
So I think that was it. It was like I'd never felt that kind of intensity in my life.
Yeah.
That was like next level. Sorry, and this podcast isn't about me.
No,
y'all.
it
I
is.
promise.
That is the world needed
This
to
is
know
great.
about that.
No, this will be the clickbait.
that you sent yourself flowers from your future husband.
And I read the
you
book
didn't know
like
about it.
he's just not that into you.
Of course, best book ever.
Ever. But like I was gonna make him be into me.
You were like, no, sir.
No,
I think I know something.
Yeah.
about this.
Who needs a New York bestseller when you got my own wisdom at coming in at 21.
This Texan over here, she's getting it. My own wisdom at 21.
Yep, so I knew, and it worked. But, so speaking of love, let's talk a little bit about, so you go in, you're Broadway, y'all are lovers, you go into Suits, correct? Is that kind of like, or was it White Collar?
I did like a bunch of guest stars. I was on a soap opera for a little bit.
Which one?
That's right.
I was on was I on American Turns? What's it called?
All the world, As the World Turns.
As the World Turns. I was on
Which
As
was my
the
first
World
TV
Turns.
audition
ever.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I was on As the World Turns. But it was kind of a great gig for me because I got there right when it was like very clear the show was going to end soon. I can't imagine if I'd gotten like on a soap opera and like just my contract kept getting renewed, I would be like, I'm going to be on the show forever.
Yeah, totally. And it's hard to escape.
I got there and it was like all the pictures on the walls had been taken off and we're just leaning up against the walls. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, this, don't get comfortable. Like, this is not a forever gig. Anyway, I did that and then I guest starred on like everything in New York, and then Suits came along and that was like, I mean, just so fun.
Did you work with Meghan Markle?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
They were the love triangle.
No.
Yeah.
Patrick.
No.
Yeah.
Megan and Vanessa were there.
What?
It's like one of the they're only the best things in the world to say about Meghan Markle. She's like the greatest.
Did you know though? Like, did you feel like she's got something that's different?
She's royal.
Like,
okay,
I'm going to tell you something. When I heard that she was dating Prince Harry, I was like, of course.
Okay.
Because I'm going to give you the reason. She's the kind of person who's like, oh, I just went to the market and made sure I had fresh flowers in my house just for me. Like, I'm the kind of person that like knows. I'm like, Megan, I'm in Toronto for like 3 days. Where should I go? And she's like, here's the best this best restaurant over here. Here's where you go shopping. This is the place you should go to yoga. This is like, she just is like that kind of girl that like
giving,
just
nurturing,
knows,
caring.
giving, caring, loves beauty, like is beautiful. Also, I remember like I learned how to order breakfast from her. Sounds weird, but like I have a hard time when the PA comes in the morning. If you're getting hair and makeup done, and PA usually comes in and says like, what do you want for breakfast? I always feel like really crazy. And I'm like, oh, I don't need anything. I have some water. I'm okay. She's like, Vanessa, order breakfast. And I'm like, and I've been on set at this point for years. Like I know how to do this.
Sure.
She just like knew how to ask for things in like such a polite and loving kind way that she would just order her breakfast. And I was like, look at the ease that she has with that. Like everything, the way she is to other people, just there was just a sense of ease about her. And so when I was like, she's going to blow up and be a big star, of course she is. She's just got a natural, I don't know, she's not like this person, you know what I mean?
Right.
Not like me over here.
Not like me, like squirming in my seat. Like
Before that, you always said like you thought she would go into some version that was like philanthropic somehow, be an ambassador to something in some way. Like that just was kind of the person that she was. Yeah. Not knowing she was truly going to become actual royalty. But
it's a good, I don't know, in a lot of ways, it's a really good fit. I haven't seen her in years or talked to her in years, but.
Should we call her?
But back, we should call.
Wait, that would be the coolest thing.
That's the thing too.
Girl, how's life?
I will step in and say Megan was like texting her all the time, like, "Hey, I'm in the city, or we're in LA. We should come hang out." But this one doesn't ever respond to anything
Ever.
I get
and
real
then all
nervous.
of a sudden, then the whole Harry and Meghan thing kicked in, and then the royal wedding and all that.
Vanessa's like,
And
hey,
we're
boo.
No,
we
not
could
at all.
have been at the royal wedding. We could have.
No.
We could have had it.
You
You know what I mean? Like,
just
put like a
if you would
percentage of effort into this.
Just answer the phone. Just respond to the text.
I
send yourself flowers.
I should send myself. I need to
Buy
send a
yourself
public
flowers.
You have
apology
her
to
number.
anyone
You
I
have her
have not
number?
responded
She has her
to.
number. Do you have
I don't think I probably have her current number.
okay.
Yeah, she probably has like a royal line now.
Yeah,
I would
she's
say.
Type
something
it up.
fancy.
If it turns blue, then it's probably still a number for her.
Could you
my
imagine?
God.
And then
She's a
you
good girl.
were on the road with how many years with Frankie Valli? Who is the love of my life.
That's what I grew up listening to.
Boys fanatic. Like,
As you know, because she had the Midtown Men perform
Right.
at our
Yes.
wedding, like that is her everything,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
ironic because that's what I was raised on. My stepdad, who raised me, was the most uber doo-wop, like Frankie Valli, like 60s pop, like the whole thing. So that's all I ever listened to. So then when I found out that you were performing with the man on tour, that was truly a moment of like, oh my God, this is like, cool. I had to gather myself. That's incredible.
Well, it was a big deal not for me. He was like, I toured with Frankie Valli. I was like, I don't care.
You're hardcore.
Yeah.
She's a tough nut.
I really still can't crack it. Tough to impress.
No, I started with him, years and years and years ago. I probably all told, because I left, I did Altar Boys in the City, then I went back out with him because he had a new album that he was putting out and things like that. But when I first started with him, this is kind of a joke, he was like in the twilight of his career 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. He was playing like just a few times a year, really. So it was just a pickup gig. You know, you go and like, oh, we're going to do like 3 nights in Las Vegas. And it's like, okay, cool. And then you saw him 3 months later. And then they were writing this show about him. I remember I was in Sarasota, Florida, and like these 2 guys were like out and like having lunch with him, and he calls me over, you know, and he's like, hey, this is Marshall and Rick, and like they're writing a show about me. And then I was like, that's gonna be terrible. Yeah. Bye, you know. And like,
that's a sad story.
Yeah. And
you're like, who's gonna see a musical about this guy?
Yeah.
Hey, Landon.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, and
he didn't do the voice.
I'm from San Diego, and so then it premiered. I'm from Del Mar, which is
and we're talking Jersey Boys.
Yeah, and
then Jersey Boys
premiered in La Jolla, and we went, and it was wild, and then it was like, oh, I think this is good. Like, this is really good. And then it sold out faster than any other show ever did at La Jolla. Wow. And it was just fast track to Broadway, and then it became this juggernaut and all that. And so then Frankie, who was like, yeah, I'm kind of winding down, was
he
all
almost
of a sudden
did the voice then.
Oh, he got that.
Okay, don't do it. Do it.
Do a little. But then all of a sudden,
maybe you don't got to do that voice.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
No, but all of a sudden he was like, oh, we're going to like 5 continents this year. Like, we're everywhere.
It's got the resurge of Frankie.
Discover a curated selection of renowned brands that embody luxury and craftsmanship, including Lou Casey, Stetson, Double D, Stallion, and Blackjack, alongside captivating new arrivals and unique brands waiting to be explored. Elevate your wardrobe, elevate your lifestyle. Experience the epitome of luxury at Pinto Ranch. Mention this ad in stores or use code Eric Sainty, that's ERICSAINTY, at pintoranch.com to receive 20% off your purchase.
There was a couple of fun moments when he and I were particularly really close, and like I was with him in his room or whatever, and he's like, I haven't played this place in like 35 years. And it's like, man, but I'm back. Like, how cool is this? This is like, you know, and you're playing iconic venues, and, you know.
And is he doing all the hits like Sherry?
Yeah.
Now I'm a big fan.
Okay, good.
Okay.
It took like forever.
Now I'm a big fan because I do love all those songs. Oh, what a night.
Do you still get that, like, because when I see her on stage and like she's doing her thing, I'm just like, God, it like turns me on. Like, it's such a great. Do you still get that when you see?
100%.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm admitting it publicly because now he knows.
Yeah. Well,
no, it's nothing worse when they do it in person though. It's like, I want to see you on stage, but like, don't sing to me like in real life.
No.
Like, if Eric walked out and was like, hey, baby, I'd be like, no, we're getting divorced.
No,
like, this will never, ever. Like, those people, I hope you didn't, but you might have. Like, that sing to each other at each other's weddings.
No.
Y'all, nobody loves it except you two. Hot take.
I have news for you. I don't think both parties love it.
I don't think.
I think there's one loves it. The other person is like, oh my God, this is so nice. Oh my God, he's going to do, there's another chorus. Okay, we got more verses. Oh my God. Like, it's so embarrassing.
It's mortifying.
And I don't care if Justin Bieber sang to me when I was 13 years old or something. It would be embarrassing. Like, sitting on stage, I'd be like, okay, we get it.
Yeah, we love you.
Okay,
but see, that's the same feeling I have with the song Happy Birthday. It's the same feeling.
No, that really is true.
You just have to sit there and go, thank you. Okay.
It's so true.
Oh,
and we can sing it on this podcast.
Have we had Molly Morgan call and sing him happy birthday yet?
We have videos.
I might
sit
through that one.
Because I know that's like one of our things. We'll send happy birthday of her singing, but that's different, right?
It's like, because now it's like all poopy. She's like, happy birthday to Poopy.
Oh, yeah, we can't get her to sing
They
it.
love you in that phase, but they love that.
No, and speaking of Jersey Boys the musical, please tell me y'all owned the infamous John Lloyd Young's Angel Wing CD.
I can't. I'm not with you there. I'm sorry.
Wait, what are we talking about?
You have seen it. I've showed it.
So I was in love.
I saw him.
Yes.
The single tear.
Oh,
wait.
What?
So John Lloyd Young, who was the love, I didn't know you.
The original Frankie Valli.
The most talented.
In Jersey Boys the
and
musical.
I'm saying this, the most talented effing person ever. And I, of course, like at the back in the day, you would stalk Broadway stars.
Sure.
I mean, that was it. Like, I was real cool back in the day, and I was obsessed with
the
him.
story of how we met. Like, she just stalks everybody.
I go in. I get it. And I'll never forget, he came out with an album. And this is after he's played like Frankie Valli. You're like, oh, this guy.
He won the Tony, and then he left.
Oh, he is sexy. He is. And then he comes out in Angel Wings. And you're like, okay, Cher. I see you.
He took it
full.
seriously.
No, his first album, love him. I bet it was a fabulous album. Full Angel Wings. Side tier.
No.
I think it's like when you're trying to go so opposite. It's, you know, those actors when
Like a
they're
bad
so
tattoo.
Yes, and it's like you're dead set on a show and everybody knows you, so you're like, I'm gonna do something completely opposite.
Yeah. You got to know how to pace that.
And
one.
that was hard. Like that was a shot to my ego.
Oh, boy.
When I saw Daddy do that album. But it was a great album about it.
We got to
He's a great
flash it on the
singer.
screen at some
No,
point.
we have to,
throughout
because this album is, because back in the day, it's like we didn't have iTunes. I went to Barnes and Noble.
No.
And I got that album and I played it. No, y'all know.
And I paid that $13.59.
I got this was the Facebook song Pasek and Paul. I mean, these were prime years as a Broadway kid. And these Broadway kids don't know because they put everything on self-fucking tape. Back in the day, we would wait in lines outside. You'd have to wait. Like, there's no such thing as, like, what is it? Not bloopers, but where you see the show, like, online. Bootleg. Yeah. Bootlegs didn't exist.
No.
So it's like you went into things so blind.
Yeah.
It was so cool. I mean, it was like, now it's so weird. All these celebrities are like attainable because we see them online. Back in the day, it's like Broadway stars.
It's true.
You weren't able to reach them. I mean, it was just a different stratosphere. So when an actor did something like so opposite of what the stratosphere you knew them as.
Did you get like the ick when you saw the Angel Wings, or were you like, I'm still diving in?
I was like, it's a choice.
Okay. You're like, okay.
I'm gonna see what he's got for me. Don't give me a second album.
It's entirely blue also, right? The whole cover is all shades of blue. Like even he's in sort of a blue, black.
Yes.
So like, wow. And then he's just got this tear. I think he's shirtless.
He's shirtless.
He's shirtless.
And huge wings.
With like big like Victoria's Secret wings on.
I only met him once, and he was in fact in leather pants and a leather jacket and no shirt underneath. So I guess it's maybe it's his authentic self. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he might thank us for this. This will bring a surge back in that album.
Just saying,
coming back.
It might be.
I've got a couple of stories,
baby.
but I'm not going to tell them.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's a couple you can't share.
Okay, and I know I got to start with this. I know all of the listeners are dying because it like got a resurgence again. You were the infamous in Pretty Little Liars. And I consider us bestest friends. Like, I'm your little sister, you're my big sister. Yes. So the hurt. This was my start. Like, I did all of my haircuts. Still to this day, don't I? If I get the Ashley Benson. The Ashley Benson haircut is the Jennifer Aniston haircut to me. I literally have her on my phone right now. I'm like,
That's
I follow.
her female celebrity.
That is my girl. Fair. So I was obsessed with Pretty Little Liars. And it's just like, those are for attainable or not attainable girls. I mean, they were perfect and cool. And then my friend Vanessa is on the freaking show. And I'm dying. And she doesn't tell me shit. So Marlene King, she didn't tell me shit.
I don't tell anybody anything. I don't know. But I didn't know a lot. I mean, I guess I
did. You know you were A?
I didn't know I was going to be A, but I knew that my character was like going to be very important because Marlene I don't know if she maybe spends a lot of time with everybody that gets a recurring role in the show. But then, yeah, I knew it was like we were going places with that character. And then they wanted me to be a regular right around the same time that I was just starting on Blue Bloods. And so it was a little actually maybe there wasn't crossover there. I can't remember exactly, but there was a reason why I decided not to be a regular. Once I knew they asked me to be a regular, I was
Thank
like,
God you didn't. I mean, look at the run.
I was like, I know, there was a couple of those that I like got lucky on, but so I was like, I just feel like everything that I've done with the show, I can do as a recurring character. Mm-hmm. Like I can keep coming back and guest starring on the show. I don't feel like, because it's always going to be those 4 girls. You know what I mean? Those 4 girls are fantastic, and like,
and you came on at season
like 2 or 3.
It had already been well established at that point.
Yeah, I was like, so I knew that they were going to want to do something with my character, but I was like, I can do that as a guest star. And I'm glad that I made that decision, because it was the right decision, because then Marlene still was like, well, we still had this plan for you to be A, so we still have to play that out. And Blue Bloods was kind enough to like let me out to go back and film the last few episodes.
Did you realize like your whole life, like that, because it was such a pivotal, we were just with Jonathan Sadowski, who was in Young and Hungry at the same time.
Oh, sure.
And for my age, that, like, it was just gone from ABC Family to Freeform. And it was like for my age group, and those shows were it.
Everything.
They were our Mary-Kate and Ashley. We knew the outfits, we followed the outfits. So to be like, you were it. Like that, the whole show, if you don't know Pretty Little Liars, you need to binge it, because my mom binged it over.
It's such a fun, great show. And so much happens in every single episode.
And killer actors, and everybody's always felt bad for the girl, Sasha, that played Allison, because I was like, she probably wanted to be in the opening. Like, I always felt bad because she was such a huge part of the show. Yeah. And I'm like, she should have been in the opening.
They really did her well in the last couple seasons.
Thank God. Yeah,
they
because
really she's a good girl.
No.
I can talk about this show.
She's also the best.
Actually,
Sasha's also really the best.
And the sweetest.
A genuine question about it, because I just hear like, who's A? So I didn't watch the series, but I knew about this A thing because everyone was talking about it. And I hear Saini and her friends always talking about it. Was there like this mysterious character that was doing things, and then ultimately it's like, who is this person? And then we find out it's you.
Yes.
And each season kind of ended where you think it's this person. You're like, oh, they're definitely.
Are they like causing chaos in the town? What is it?
Yeah, every episode they're like, A is like meddling with these 4 girls' lives. Okay. And like they think that their best friend was murdered by this character A, and then they're like, what? Then I think at some point they're kind of like, did our friend not actually die? Is our friend actually the one that's doing all of this to us?
So does it make sense when you're coming on, and like, are you like being this manipulative type of character?
Yes. I mean, my character changed in 1,000 ways. Like, I started out as just kind of like a bitch, like which was kind of the Allison thing on that show, the character Allison who they thought died. She was like kind of the mean girl of the group. And so then I came along and I was like a mean girl and like real bitchy and catty and all the things. And then we find out that my character actually was related to Allison, and actually it's all cover for like a total heartbreak that I've had. That like I'm actually this very sad, mousy person who's really had a hard time. And then we find out that my character was man.
Was a bro.
Was a boy. Was a boy.
You were a man.
Allison's brother.
Transitioned. So my character, I was a trans character, so I transitioned in. Before it was like,
this one of like the first trans characters on TV?
I believe
not the
so.
First.
And they were boldly like,
I mean, it was a big deal, like, because that show,
this was
Marlene.
9 years ago. Like that conversation really wasn't taking place.
Yeah.
At that point,
and especially with this audience. I mean, you're hitting a demographic of younger kids.
How ahead of the times.
Marlene was that way, though. Like, she even one of the characters was a lesbian on the show, was queer, I guess. But we didn't say queer back then. We said lesbian. Yeah. And that was a big, that was like really challenging for parents, being like, we're going to let our daughters watch this show or they're all going to want to become lesbians. And it was like, it was very... Marlene really was like, kids can handle these conversations. Kids can, like teenager girls are already talking about these things. They can handle it. So the trans thing, when it came along, it was like, Marlene's done it again. She's like opening up this conversation and like kind of letting people have the conversation. And then now we see where we're at now with this conversation, and it's very interesting.
No, when it's wild to even like think of Ellen DeGeneres, like as like you think of these the time it was such
big news.
Well, yes. And it's like, we think about that now. We're like, oh, it's not a thing. But to have the vulnerability and scary, you're still under, for Marlene, you're still under the ABC family network.
Yes.
Like how scary that has to be, like in a sense, and how amazing to know, like, this is what teenagers are facing. And if I don't show it, nobody else will.
Right.
And to do that.
And this particular audience, too, because this is like a cable network.
ABC Family.
We're not talking about HBO.
Yes.
We're not talking about the things that kids don't have access to. Like, they had access to this, and she's a smart woman. And and a really authentic person, I think. So she's like, no, this is authentically what people are talking about. This is what we're going to write about.
And that was all shot in LA?
All shot in LA at Warner Brothers lot, which is very, very cool.
Oh, yeah.
So iconic.
That's like the bougie life.
It's well, because I'd only worked in New York at that point on TV shows in New York, which is like an amazing experience too. But you go to LA at the Warner Brothers lot, and it's
so
like
bougie.
You drive onto the lot, and they're like,
you feel like a movie
you're
star.
in a movie, like at a cart, like what are those called? Golf carts driving around, getting a Starbucks. You're like,
the best part about auditioning in LA, because you get to go there for those
yes.
even.
And you would love it too. Like,
amazing.
So everybody's kind of got the same like generic carts. Pretty Little Liars had all pink golf carts driving all cast and back and forth and all.
Marlene, call me.
So you could just see. You always knew when something was going on with Pretty Little Liars versus any other thing taking place at Warner Brothers.
Yeah, it was real
all over the place.
So you go from this like LA life, you're ending Pretty Little Liars, playing a groundbreaking character on television, to back to New York, crime drama.
And you're on tour this whole time. Like you're touring.
Landon's touring.
While
never
you're
stops.
touring.
Yeah.
Just getting phone calls being like, hey, we're moving to New York. Hey, I'll meet you in New York. Hey, I'll meet you in LA.
Truly.
We had not been in LA that long. I remember I was in Minnesota at the airport, and you go, I think they want me to stay on full time in New York. And I was like, we just moved. From, I'm like walking through the airport, like flying home to LA, and she's like, pack your bags again. I'm like, okay, we'll get back on the airplane.
You know how that goes too. Like, so we'd finally found the apartment in LA we wanted to stay in. We'd finally started putting stuff on the walls. As soon as you hang up the first picture, that's when you get a call. It's like, would you like a job on television? You're like,
was the Blue Bloods call like, hey, this is going to be a couple year deal? Was it?
Not at first. So I was working on a Broadway musical at the time, and I thought that was going to be probably the thing that was going to, if anything brought me back to New York, it was going to be this show.
Was that Hair?
No, this is a different show.
Oh.
We're not going to talk about it.
We won't mention it. It was a different show, and I got fired from the gig, and it was, devastating. It took years to get over. I was devastated.
But I need to say this.
I did workshops and stuff, and then
she says fire, but in our industry, it's like, a lot of the time you'll do workshops for years and years and years and years, and then it goes to Broadway and they recast it. Like, yes. I think like Kristen Chenoweth and Dina Menzel weren't the original out. So,
and you wouldn't get paid for all like creating this character and all the developmental
you
stages.
Are that character.
You got nothing. Now it's different. They've got these new contracts.
Yes,
so
it
you're
can be
protected at least, but back then you were not.
No.
And it happened a lot.
And years.
To a lot of people.
Of people's lives.
Yeah. Years of your life.
That's right.
And being like, well, then once this comes, once this is going to be a thing, this is going to be my thing. And then that didn't happen. And then the next day, I auditioned for Blue Bloods. And it was like, okay, well, this is just like a 3-episode arc, potentially. I remember I did my first audition in LA on tape, and then they called me back the next day. And
you remember what your sides were like? Like what were the scenes?
I think it was vaguely what my very first scene was on the show.
Okay.
Which is like, hey, you Reagan? Like,
was this your first cop
role? Cop role, yes. First cop role.
Did you wear like a blue shirt?
I wore a tank top and jeans, probably my hair in a ponytail. But they called me back, and the casting director got stuck in the elevator. And they were like, we're just going to have you come back to, like, we'll cancel the audition right now. We're going to have you come back. And I was like, oh, no, I'll wait. And they were like, what? And I was like, in my head, I was like, I'll book this job today. I don't know that I'll book it tomorrow. Like, I just knew. I was like, this is a good fit for me. There's something about this that's good. And, like, I don't know. I'll have a different energy tomorrow. I don't know how that's going to go. So then I waited like an hour for them to have the maintenance man come get the guy out of the elevator. And then I put myself on tape. And then I got booked like I think like hours later. Like they watched the tape right away and came, and then I flew out to New York. Thought I was going to be doing 3 episodes. Then I got offered a regular on a different show that films in New York. And when that happened, it was a happy accident for me because then Blue Bloods was like, well, no. She can't be a regular on another show.
Tie her down.
But yeah. So they were like, oh, well, we're off. And then there was a bidding war, which was kind of great. So I ended up getting more money than I would have if I'd done the other show. The other show ran another 2-3 seasons, I think. And I've been on Blue Bloods for almost 11 years.
Has it been that long?
Nuts. Yeah.
I love when things work out.
Nuts. Yeah, it worked out. It was a good, it all like, you lose a job that you think is going to be the job that's going to change your life. Yeah. And then something else comes along and like, you just never know how it's going to work out.
And it's the final season.
And it's, I mean, that's what they say?
Final.
But how many times have they said that?
This is the time.
I think this is the final. If there's another life with Blue Bloods, I think it will look different.
A spin-off or a prequel. We like them prequels.
I love a prequel.
Should we talk about there's been a special person that
that will make life after Blue Bloods so fulfilling.
Very busy.
We
also have a spin-off.
Blue Bloods Jr. And he made his People exclusive premiere.
This is exclusive now.
This month.
In People magazine, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Y'all
insane.
tell us the news.
We adopted a little baby named Isaac Ray Beard. He is just almost 4 months tomorrow.
4 months tomorrow.
He's so delicious.
Yeah.
He's so perfect.
The cutest child I've ever seen.
He is
that little
so
smile.
Cute. You guys are saying he looks like us. Like we look like him. Like when you fall in love in that very specific way, totally. I think your faces start to morph into each other. Like I close my eyes and is the first thing I'm thinking about. I dream about him. Like I just am so in love. And like it's changed our relationship in so many incredible ways and challenging ways and all of the things. But this kid is, well, I can't talk about it. I can't talk about it. It'll make me cry.
Can you talk about like a little bit about like what the adoption process was like? Because I know there are probably so many parents out there that are, thinking about the same thing. And what was that like? Like my brother's adopted,
right.
And my mom had at the time the quickest adoption you could do. And what actually was, I think, the easiest way to go about it with the shortest amount of time was international. And so she had to go to Brazil. And so that's like its own thing. What was it like? Was it all in the U.S.? I mean,
we knew
Landon's mom's also adopted.
Yeah, my mom's adopted. And so there's always been a lot of, sort of understanding and love of that whole situation. We knew sort of for us that the international probably wasn't going to be able to work out because at least what I know now for the most part is a lot of times you have to go and actually like reside there for, sometimes as little as 2 weeks, sometimes 4, 6, 8 weeks, in whatever country you're adopting the child from. And the world that we live in, like we can't just like up and go, okay, well, we're going to go move to Korea for 2 months so that we can bring a little one home with us or whatever. So we knew we had to do just here in the States. There's a whole lot of sort of stories, and that's in the People magazine thing. But Vanessa had spoken to Bridget, who's on the show with her, and she said you need to talk to Peter Herman and Mariska Hargitay, who adopted 2 children, and so they.
I've never worked with Peter. I don't. He occasionally guest stars on our show.
Okay.
And so I was like, I don't know.
Is he on Law and Order?
He is on Blue Bloods. Mariska is on, but I don't know her. I've never met her. I've never.
He was on my favorite show with Sutton Foster.
He was on Young and Hungry, right?
Younger.
Oh
That's what he was on. Younger.
Peter.
Yeah.
But they were lovely with like, what do you want to know? Here's the name of our adoption attorney.
I ended up working. Bridget was like, you need to talk to Peter Herman about this. And I was like, I've never worked with him. I'm not just going to call him. That feels so weird. And then the next day, or like 2 days later, we got the script. And every scene I had was with him, which he's never on our show, which is so crazy. Wow. So then I got to work with him for like 10 days. And he just was like, what do you want to know? What here's what we did, here's how it went for us, this is what to expect, so not expect, all the things. Like it just was so open and honest with us about everything. And
we had never met, but he was like, give Landon my number.
Yeah.
Like it's also it's one thing to be a mother adopting. He's like, but it's another thing to be a father adopting. And he's
so
like,
cool.
and if he wants to talk to another, guy who has been through it, I'm here. Like, it was just
kind.
That kind of person is just, it's rare and so beautiful. So,
and then once you kind of open up the floodgates like that, when you kind of start talking with somebody and they're like, this is who we use, this is whatever, then you start to find out like, oh, I have a makeup artist who also used the same people. And then we reached out to, we were like, Saini, you know anybody?
It's like, it's a club.
It starts to become like a thing where there was a lot of like, people started to kind of all hands on deck a little bit when they found out that we wanted to adopt.
How long was the process from like beginning to end?
From decision to adopt.
Decision was like in December
Yeah.
of 22, and we had baby in our arms November of 23. So that was like from decision to baby was 11 months.
Oh my God.
I would say that we really were serious with it, because you'd make the decision, you go, okay, I think we're going to do it. And then you talk, and then you go back and forth.
And then you have all the
go,
arguments
do we really want to do
about,
this?
then you have all the back and forths of like, well, but we said we,
Right. So, and then so we had like a Zoom meeting with the adoption attorney, and she's like, kind of, here's how this goes, and then you like close the laptop, and you're like, so then you take a while and whatever. So then I would say we really got serious in April. Mm-hmm. And so then April to November, that's like 6 months.
Oh my God.
So it feels like it was such a long process, because it was like daily. There's just, you think you go, great, got that done. Check that off. And they go, and we need this filled out one more time.
And got that done means like an example of a thing that we had to do is like they needed all of our addresses for the past 28 years of our life. Now, maybe most adults probably just have one or two addresses. It's not a big deal. We're actors and musicians. Like every year we move.
And I'm clarifying that. I'm like, do you really need like every place?
Like, you mean like when I lived someplace for 6 months in New York, or I lived 6 months in
Canada,
Vancouver or whatever? Like, do you mean that?
You sublet? Like, you don't even really remember.
The only thing worse being asked as an actor is, can I get every W-2 or 1099?
Yes.
Yes.
The worst.
Right.
Yes. And we had to do that too.
Oh my God.
So it was like, but we were both like, so we were in LA, and he goes, do you know your first apartment? And I was like, no, I can drive to it. So we like drove to different apartments and stuff, because I didn't remember.
I can sniff my way there immediately, but like, I don't remember the whatever.
That is so true. I could take you to every apartment we had here, but I could not tell you the streets.
There's a couple here I had a real hard time remembering. I was like, I don't know how I get there. I don't remember what it was. I had to like reach out to other friends.
Or like you didn't get them all right? Like, would it be?
It's probably fine.
Yeah.
But I specifically am that person who is like, we have to do it.
Yeah, you don't want to mess that up.
Right. Right.
I'm like texting old boyfriend. I mean, it was a whole thing. I had to like find.
What is it? Like, I feel like pregnancy, no matter how horrible your pregnancy is, how horrible birth is, and I'm sorry, moms, we all know everybody has a birth story. Nobody's worse or better. Or
everyone's got a birth story.
Everybody got a birth story. But once the baby's in your arms, it's like you have amnesia. You're like, I'll do it again. I can't wait.
I was holding Isaac in the hospital, like, and the nurse was saying, like, you guys think you'll adopt again? And I was like, yeah, I think we will. I think we'll probably. I mean, we were going through like quite a time in the hospital, and I was like, oh yeah, 100%. We'll maybe in the next 4 months or so, we'll probably try. But I was like bananas in pajamas. I just really thought, I was like,
you really do.
You really forget about everything.
Mm-hmm.
How old was Isaac when you got
born?
She was
I was there. I was the first to hold him.
Oh my gosh.
I was there the moment he was born.
Wow.
It was very exciting.
Was there something like surprising about that transition? Is like, I always feel like a dad, we had like 9 months to prep.
Yes.
In a sense, because your body, everything's fucked up.
Yeah.
And where it's like Eric just kind of like, the day I give birth, that's kind of like go time.
Yeah.
What was that process? Like, did you feel like, were you nervous about that? Like, is this going to happen? Because I'm the type, when I hold the baby in my arms, I don't have that immediate love. Like, I'm not, it takes me, I would say about 2 weeks. Then I'm like, you're mine.
Oh, interesting.
Like, this is, at first I'm like, oh God, do we have all the toes? Our eyes okay? Or do like, as you have stork bites.
You go through like panic check.
Yeah, I go through panic check at first.
Before
always.
I can allow myself to fully love you, I want to make sure you're alive and going to be with
You're
me.
Be
and
fine
like,
and
that was kind of
And
her.
it's like, even with the Mick thing, because he was so sick, I feel like I didn't allow myself which I'm going to cry about it, like love him deeply because I was scared to death he was not going to make it.
You're gonna lose
so I was
him.
like, if I can separate this a little bit, I'll be able to handle this.
Yeah.
And did you feel like, in a sense, were you nervous where it's like, I almost need to do this because...
I think I had that.
I think you had that. I did
where
not.
She dove
Done.
in. You were in full
I was.
From moment
It was,
one.
I was in, I was Eric riding up on the on the
Skateboard.
The skateboard.
That was
like
it.
that was my moment with this child. I was like, oh my God, that's my baby.
Oh.
That's my little. And then I was like, and then it was also like, and I'm your, like, it's not that you're mine. It's that like, I'm yours. Like, I'm all yours, kid. That's what it felt like.
And it's like the reason why you're here.
Yeah, I'm just like this. It's over. It's over for me. This is the one.
And it's
I'm yours. I
It
love
was.
that.
That's what it feels. like.
Eric's trying.
I know.
You make
We're all gonna cry talking about
that
Isaac.
connection, right? And we were so blessed that like we were just like on the floor with him in the hospital, just like the two of us and beautiful nurses around us, just taking care of him and spending pretty much every waking moment with him. And yet there's the legal process of adoption that also has to take place. So like moment one, two spirits looking at each other going, we're in, this is us, we're together. The first hands that ever touched him were hers. You know what I mean? Like that's like they're connected. And then you go, legally, is this gonna work out?
It's real scary for that, depending on what state you're in and all the things. It gets without getting too in the weeds about it, but like
every state is different, and some can be like 24 hours, and some is 30 days. We were.
You mean for like the biological to change their mind?
Yeah, and things, and or like a like what I would call like if it was another. You know, if you were buying a house or something, it would be like a cooling off period or something. So like, right. So you have to wait 72. We had to wait 72 hours before you could even have the legal, signing of documents and conversations and things like that. So, you're sitting there for three days going,
The longest 3 days.
I'm
probably.
loving this thing. I'm spending every moment of it. My parents are on their way. And like,
and it was a big deal. Like we didn't want to tell we didn't want to say his name to anybody until his parents. We said it to his parents for the first time because it's their first grandchild. It was all those things, and so it was like, it was tough. Those 3-4 days were the best, scariest time of our lives.
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
And here we are 4 months later.
Now we are. I
Perfect.
know.
He's in
Do you
People
feel like-
magazine with a denim blue blood
little
jacket
leather
on.
jacket,
Best
and you
thing
would
I've
see
ever seen.
the front of it says his name's embroidered, and it's a good coat too. That was
You
from
guys have to go check out those photos.
Yes.
They're amazing.
My
He's so
lovely
cute.
executive producer Kevin Wade had that made for him right away, and I was like, "Oh, this is so good." Because he really did. There's a lot of ties to him and me being on Blue Bloods, like having a job that I felt safe in for a really long time. I think led me to like the same way that you were about like marriage, being like, I'm never doing that. I was like, oh, I'm never gonna be settled or comfortable enough in my life that I'll ever be able to have a baby. Oh, yeah, right. We're gonna travel. I'm never gonna be in a relationship that's that solid. I'm never gonna I'm an actor. Like, I don't understand how people do this. But being on Blue Bloods has really changed that. Being with Landon, like all the ups and downs of our relationship and all those things, like I'm like, oh, we can do it.
We can do this.
We can do this. Like,
Oh my God. And you
I
just
felt held by it,
Yeah. And you just your partner, it's like the reason all those ups and downs happen is because kids are ups and downs.
Sure.
So it's like all these relationships that haven't gone through not turmoil, but it's like those people that have a baby immediately after getting married. You're like, ooh, that's a lot. So it's it's nice when you have built this deep foundation with a person.
100%.
Because all of a sudden that person, Eric goes away for a little bit and I go away for a little bit. I'm mom for now, you're dad for now. We'll come back to each other. We'll be back. But right now, these people need us more than
right.
Spiritually, emotionally.
Yes.
100%.
It's such, okay, y'all, we like to end each show, which I literally could talk for, like, I should have reserved us for like 4 hours.
And
I
we're so grateful that you guys were here
Oh
tonight,
my
sharing your love story and your baby story and your career story.
All the stories that we like to ask your glamour and your grit. So your glamour could be your glamour of the day, glamour of life, and your grit of life.
Oh, of life.
Or like, the week, or getting, like, rainy day in New York, that's a grit.
Lana, go first, please.
Go first, please. Okay. Glamour, for me, is no longer me. Like, I used to be like, oh, I'm going to go get, like, a cool pair of boots or something. Now, I don't care about that. But, like, he's just, like, Isaac is now, like, just big enough that, like, you can go to a place. It's not just a little onesie. He's not just, you know. So I'm like, all right, let's go get some cool stuff. So I'm like.
Little high tops.
So we're, like, walking through Soho, you know, doing, like, all right, let's find the cool stuff. So I'm like, that's the glamour that I'm looking for right now. And in the exact same sentence is the grit, which is like, God, this city is tough. This city is hard to just, like, trudge through. And
you said, you're like, I just want to find my son a pair of pants.
Yeah. And it is, I mean, you don't know who you're sitting next to on the subway, and you're trying, I mean, there's lots of great people who will help you out, you know, if they see you with a kid and open the door for you. And there's equal amount of people who just don't care. And you just have to, you got to, like, get through it. You know, you sort of have to earn that day here in the city.
In the old Big Apple.
In the Big Apple. And holding a little one. I mean, it's tough, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's good. I have two. I can't decide which one. The glamour is obviously Isaac. One is that he sleeps really well.
And such a glamour.
And the grit is that he sure does like to spit up on every single piece of clothing and my hair, and I mean, he's a spitter upper.
I giggled.
I go, Eric, just follows you everywhere.
That baby.
I immediately came home and I was like, Eric, smell my shoulder.
Yeah.
What does he smell that? And he goes, I know that smell. And I was
he is a spitty uppy baby, but he sleeps so cuddly and cozy.
He's real smiley though too.
Spit up on me all. Like, I missed that smell. I forgot how much I lived, and I was like smelling my shoulder, and I was like,
it brought it all back.
It brought it all.
It makes me I'm like, buddy, come on, what can I do to make it better? And he's just like, I don't think you need to worry about it, Mom. He's like,
I got it.
He's like, it's fine, just get new clothes.
Oh my God. And where can we find you on socials?
I'm at V-Ray Skull.
What is
Am I still that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Skull was your maiden name, right?
No.
Why are we Skull?
Because my best friend in high school, Robert Jarrett, shout out to Robert Jarrett, he used to say, by the power of Ray Skull, like from He-Man and She-Ra. It's a long time. Okay, well, there was a Gray Skull was the bad guy on the show, and he thought it was funny that my name was V-Ray, so he would say Ray Skull. And so then I didn't know social media was going to be a real thing.
Yeah, no,
I didn't know about it.
Nothing's
And then I don't know
deep
how to
with
do.
Vanessa.
I also don't know how to do anything. I'm like, how would I possibly change it?
Yeah.
I bet your show would do it for you real quick.
I don't know. And then I'd have to email somebody. Then they would respond.
Yeah.
And I would have to email them back. Then I would probably have to they would probably have to call me, walk me through how to do it. I don't know my passwords. Sorry. It's V-Ray Skull.
V-Ray Skull.
And Landon, you're.
Just Landon Beard.
Oh,
classic, like Sandy Nelson and
Something
not like
normal,
Eric Nelson official.
It was great.
Oh my God. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you Friday.
Glamour.
Grit. Glamour.
Grit.
Glamour.
Grit. Glamour.
Grit.